right, I got home from my trip to the East Coast yesterday. I have not been at my house in over a week, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to show you what it's like resetting and restarting your homestead after you've been on vacation. I got home last night around 9:30, so I didn't really have time to look at anything last night. It was starting to get dark. The only thing I did was run over and see if my goats had given birth while I was gone, and so far they have not. Outside of that, the entire property is in need of a huge overhaul. You would think being away for only a week wouldn't cause that much change, but it really did. My pool is out of water because it's been so hot. It's evaporated down past the skimmer, so I need to clean the pool. I need water for the pool. The animals, all their coops need to be done. The garden needs to be picked through. The egg stand is completely empty, and we are out of feed. So we've got a lot of stuff to do today, and I'm gonna take you along and show you how to get back into the routine of homesteading after you've been on vacation. All right, first things first. Yes, this is empty as I expected, and somebody left me an empty carton, and I've got no change left in my jar. I put 8 dozen eggs in here the night before I left, and truthfully, I think almost all of them were gone before I even left in the morning. I'd put a post out before I left saying that I had put 8 dozen eggs in here, and as soon as I posted that on Instagram, pretty much all of them were gone. So this has likely been empty for probably the whole week. There's tons of eggs obviously from this week, so this will be filled back up today, but I'm out of pretty much everything that's in here. There's no jam, there's no honey, there's no syrup, there's no eggs, there's not even change in my jar, so there's literally nothing. First things first, checking the egg stand, and now I'm gonna head up and start unloading the feed order that we picked up today. I stopped by Abby's work this morning and picked up some feed. We are pretty much out of, well, everything except for chick starter. So I grabbed 2 bags of layer mash, and that's what I feed all my hens that are laying and that are not for meat. I picked up some pig feed. I picked up some grower for my meat birds and some dog food and a bale of shavings. I do need to clean out the chicken coop and the goat hut today, so I definitely need the shavings for the chicken boxes. So I'm just gonna quickly unload these into the bins, and then I'm gonna get on to feeding the animals. There's a bit of controversy every time I use a knife to cut my feed bags. People always ask me why I don't pull the string on the bag and why do I use a knife? Why don't I save the bags to repurpose them? I use the knife because I don't repurpose these bags. I don't repurpose these bags because I have no use for them. I'm not gonna start a whole collection of bags and maybe at some point come up with a use for them. It's not something I want to keep in here. I already have rats underneath here, and that's actually how I discovered I had rats in the first place, was by storing feed bags in here. So I'm not keeping feed bags. I don't pull the string. It's truly not the end of the world. I just put it on the edge here, slice it open, and dump it in. It's not a big deal, but for some reason it seems to be one. So I'm just gonna finish unloading the rest of the feed, and then we're gonna get on to feeding the animals. around the outside of the coop. I'll do the water. Can you just do the eggs for them? What are you doing? Probably take the grower from there and then the water and do those guys down there. Okay. And then bring me a full bucket of shavings, like full to the top, so that I can do the thing up there. And then you need a starter in this bucket. All right, another thing I need to do today is check my bees. We are just approaching the second week of August. Now is usually when I'd pull a couple frames out. Because I lost my bees over the winter last year, I added 2 new nukes this spring. So usually you're not going to pull honey out of new hives. Last year I was able to pull quite a few frames out. My newest hive last year ended up producing the most amount of honey, so I did pull frames out of it. I'm just going to have a look in here and see if there's any that I can pull out. If my boxes are full, I'll pull a couple out. But the main thing you want to remember when you're pulling honey out of your hive is making sure that they have enough honey to last them through the winter. As much as we want to pull the honey out and keep it for ourselves, bees will starve over the winter without a sufficient food source. So I'm going to have a look in the hives and see if there's any frames I can pull out. If not, I'm just going to leave them and let them be. And basically I'm just doing an inspection. For now, I just want to kind of have a look, see what's going on in there, and hopefully get some honey. So let's have a look. Check that out. That is full of honey. The white stuff at the top, that's capped honey. So those cells are full and they've been capped on the top with wax. You can see the honey in the bottom ones. It's not capped yet because they're not completely full, but they do all have honey in them. This is awesome. Look at that. Amazing. This whole box is completely full of honey. So you can see this side of the frame looks different. These capped ones are different colors than up here. And that's because this bottom part of the frame is actually brood. So that's where they lay their eggs. And if you look really close, you can see the different stages of larvae in there. I don't need to check in the hive to see if I can find the queen, because I can see in here that there's eggs and there's larvae at all different stages, which means I've got a queen in there laying eggs. All right, they're getting a little angry, so I'm gonna put them all back together and wrap this hive up, and I'm done checking this one. Bing, right over there. Flip it out into the compost pile. You gotta make sure it goes in the thing. That can't stay on the ground.
Would you take it over to the peanut shed?
I haven't seen it in a few days because we could definitely use that because then I can fill them both up and you guys can just dump them.
I saw the green one at the feed shed.
Yeah, the green one's broken.
Ow. There's two in there.
Alright, that's it for this one. Let's go quickly do the goats and then we gotta leave for sports. So we'll do the garden when we get back. All right, both the chicken coop and the goat hut are clean and have fresh bedding. And I know I did the chicken coop first, but the goat coop was more of a priority because those girls are gonna give birth anytime now. And I do want it to be clean and I want them to have fresh bedding when they're birthing in there. So I'm glad that's all done. The last thing that we have to get done is harvesting everything out of the garden. But we have to run to sports right now. So we're gonna do that when we get back, which honestly is probably gonna be better anyways. It's insanely hot right now, and I'm hoping by the time we get back, it won't be quite as hot because the sun will have gone down a bit. We probably won't be getting back until 7:30 or 8, so it should be much cooler by then. So I'll catch you down in the garden shortly. All right, as you can see, it's the next day. We got home a little bit late last night, and the mosquitoes were really bad last night, so I actually didn't end up coming down here to pull everything out of the garden, which is why I'm down here right now. It's insanely hot today, but the best time of the day to pick things out of the garden is first thing in the morning before full sun. Things tend to be a little cooler and a little more crisp in the morning. I mean, I don't know if that's still valid given the fact that we've been in a heat warning for basically the whole entire summer. But either way, I'm gonna start picking things out today. I don't know that there's really a lot of stuff in here to pick out just because it's been so hot. Everything's kind of wilted and sad and dying. What I'm going for today is I'm gonna pull out the rest of the zucchini. I'm gonna pull out some herbs because it's time to dry them. And I'm hoping to be able to get one round of banana peppers out so I can start pickling those. I saw when I was walking in here that my cucumbers are looking sad. They're really, really dry, so I probably won't get any off of them, but I don't know. We'll go around and we'll have a look, so let's check it out.
Are the both gardens?
Yeah. Everything is so dead and wilted. Cucumbers, everything is just so dead.
I just picked that whole plant.
That's it?
Yeah, because we used them for dinner yesterday.
There's no way. That's all there is?
Yeah.
I hope you can see them in here. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but those are like...
For a second, I thought I felt a sprinkling of rain. Is it a sprinkling?
Yes.
Is that a sprinkle?
Yes.
Did I just feel like 3 raindrops?
I felt that. You don't feel that?
I think we're hallucinating.
I feel that.
Because there's been no rain. We're hallucinating rain.
Whoa, you have a lot of... Whoa.
Weeds everywhere.
Yeah, this is what I got.
I don't understand how weeds can grow in this weather, but... Is that all the zucchini? Is there still a bunch left?
There's a bunch left.
I guess just put the basket over with the other stuff there and then just make a pile of the rest of them, I guess.
Okay. Mom, it's raining.
There's like 3 drops.
No, there's so many. Do you hear that?
It's
It's raining.
It's spitting.
Oh. I am not picking that anymore. What? Oh my God! Look how big this spider is.
No, I don't want to.
Yeah, it really do.
No.
Mom. Well, we're not picking any more tomatoes.
Come on now.
I say we
No,
end it here.
actually.
No, I think it was poisonous.
Oh yeah, I don't like that. Okay, we'll have to kill that. That's gross. I know what you got. Just whip it in there.
Okay.
Sorry. All right, so we finished up in the garden and everything that we pulled that we weren't keeping went over to the goats. We ended up with another full basket of zucchini. I have zucchini coming out the ears right now. There's literally zucchini everywhere. I've got half a bowl of tomatoes and banana peppers, a small bowl of cherry tomatoes, and a big bowl of herbs, which I'm gonna dry. The herbs though have bolted and they've got flowers on the top, so I might take the flowers off and do something with those. Maybe make like a basil flower vinegar. I'm not really sure yet. Tomorrow and the rest of the week is gonna be preserving, so that'll be a completely separate video processing all this food. So as you can see, taking a week away from a homestead does require a lot of work when you first get back. I had to do a major feed run, and even though I did have someone taking care of the animals, being away from them for a week, it's just not the same as when I'm here taking care of them. So we needed a major overhaul on the animals when we got back. Their coops and huts needed to be cleaned out. I had to check the bees and pull some honey, and then of course harvest everything in the garden that grew while I was gone. As much work as it is to catch up after being away for a week, I'm so glad that I went on that trip. Honestly, it was very eye-opening, slightly life-changing, and I just feel rejuvenated and kind of refocused on what my goals are here. So I'm happy to be home and I'm glad to be back in the mind frame that I'm in. That's pretty much it for this video though. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram @_livingdifferent, where you can stay up to date on what I'm doing all the time. I post on there multiple times a day, and Instagram always includes content that's different from YouTube. Don't forget to check out the website www.living-different.com, where you can have a browse through all the products I have to offer on there. When you open up the website, initially a box will pop up and it'll ask you if you want to subscribe to a weekly newsletter. If you don't want to sign up to the newsletter, that's totally fine. Just hit the X and it'll take you back to the website to browse as normal. That's it for this video though. Stay tuned for the next one where I'm preserving all of the food I picked this week. Catch you on the next one. Bye.